On the Brand Podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Brand Podcast. I am your host, Angelo, and today's guest is so special, man. Like, you might have seen this dude on Sway in the Morning doing a crazy freestyle. You might have seen him on Funk Flex doing a crazy freestyle. For like my hip hop heads, he was on This Is 50, which is crazy.
Oh man,
that's so wild.
Yeah.
If you've seen him recently, he's been giving out copious amounts of money for songs. Yeah. So if you we'll talk about that. But and also he is the son of one of the greatest rappers of all time. We have the one, the only Chris Rivers in the building.
Let's go. Good intro. You know, it's always so dope to hear someone encapsulate like everything you are into an intro where they're trying to make you sound cool, and I just feel great after.
Okay, I'm glad you said that because I was talking to Manny before I came. I said, should I stop doing intros? Should I just talk?
No.
Do an intro.
Yeah, do an intro the person because it kind of gets. Me, I'm never not comfortable. I'm always comfortable. But some people aren't. So like, if someone's coming on, they feel a little nervous. You hype them up real quick, and they're like, "Yo, actually, I'm
that guy." Yeah. So first off, I want to talk about something because we're gonna go back a little bit, talk about your story and stuff like that. But I want to start here right now,
right? Because
what you're doing on your Instagram is amazing. The one that you did for Tuesday.
Yeah, Retaliatory Tuesdays.
Yeah. Retaliatory Tuesdays is amazing. If you guys have not seen this, please go on his Instagram and check this out. But basically, you have haters.
Oh, a copious amount. Yeah, yeah. A plethora. A plethora. Yeah.
So with that being said, you decided, let me take these hater comments and go back at them. Explain it.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's an evolution of it, right? When I first started doing music, my rise was on World Star, right? Which is terrible. If you're fat with a gap and the son of someone that's a legend already. So it's one of those things where every single comment, even if the song was good and I was like 14, every single comment was like, oh, I don't know whether to butt my head or kick a field goal, like because of my gap, or like, so they were coming to my gap, my fatness, and like, he's not as good as his dad. So mind you, I'm like 15, and I'm still like, I feel lame as a teenager. You feel weird.
And I don't think I've ever seen a nice comment on World Star.
So
no, you're right.
Specifically hate. Yeah. Specifically hate there. Yeah. Even if they love you, it's hate.
Yeah.
So there was like that first, like for a while, I stopped looking at comments because it actually affected me. And then I started looking at comments again. I'm like, oh wait, these don't hurt anymore. So first it hurt a lot, and then it stopped hurting. Okay. And then later on, as I got like older and I started doing music, and I still get haters like perpetually. I would sometimes troll them back and like write comments back and engage with them and just make them feel dumb or like just funny stuff here and there. And then it got to the point where I was like, I could like beyond just making them feel dumb, and sometimes I converted a hater into a genuine follower and supporter. Like instead of playing them like that, like I could like weaponize this and like utilize this for a following, and like I grew up in the Bronx. I could cut their ass. Like they talk about my gap or they talk about something. I'm like, and God forbid they have a profile pic I could look at and like So I've been calling it Retaliatory Tuesday, where I take a piece of hate, I show people the hate, and then I kind of just go in on that person for daring
a monologue.
To hate on me. And the followings like jumped like 10,000, over 1 million impressions in the last like month or so. And it's been doing really good. And I've been creating more segments to kind of get more into monologuing and moving away from just rapping. Yeah. So and that's one of the segments.
We kind of talked about this a little bit. Shout out to your fiance on Kayla's. Yeah. Afterwards, we were kind of talking about, this change from using your pen into raps, into monologues, into short form content.
Right.
And it's just been seamless, at least from looking from the outside.
Right.
It's been so seamless.
It's kind of what I always wanted to do. Like, I think I've always been good at talking. Like, again, I grew up, for a big part of my childhood, I was either like poor, homeless. I didn't have a lot of clothing, so I really used my words as like as a sense of style. You know what I'm saying? Like like his personality, the way he talks. Yeah. That's kind of was my fashion because I couldn't afford physical items to put on me.
It's not on you, it's in you.
Exactly, man. Yeah. Pause. So like it was.
Yo, no one's ever paused that.
No, you know, because
You just took one of my favorite quotes and paused it.
No, I'm not gonna lie.
Yo,
I was stunned at how awesome it was, but I was like, still paused though. But yeah, so it was one of those things where I was like, it's not on me, it's in me. So I was like, yeah, like I got good at words, I got good at talking, and I was just a natural at it. So I've always liked speaking, and you know, being the, you know, the fat friend or the person that, like, you had to get funny in New York, and I was always had older cousins that would constantly cut my ass and make fun of me. So I got kind of good at talking.
cutting my ass is pause.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I guess. Yeah, it is. But yeah, so it's one of those things where, like, I think talking I've been more comfortable with. I kind of lean into rap because it was kind of an expectation, make money off of this thing. But I would always have preferred to be like a host or a speaker opposed to a rapper. I just kind of went that way. And then recently I've been like, yo, like, Chris, I turned 31 recently. I'm like, yo, start doing things that make you happy. And so I tried it, and it's been going really well. Like, it's been going better than I like. It feels like stuff is falling into place.
And I feel, obviously, I feel like I know you, but I don't. But and you could kind of tell me if I'm kind of in the right area here. But I feel like the rapper persona and who you were trying to be was that Baby Pun, and then Chris Rivers, who you go by now, that's you. That's just your personality. That's your lifestyle. Like, yeah, you could rap too, but Baby Pun was like that. So I'm trying to be a rapper like my pops.
And Baby Pun, so I guess even poetically, Baby Pun, I didn't pick that name. It was given to me. And it was, you know, my father died when I was 6. When he was alive, he told me, like, hey, like, when I die, you're the only boy, so you have to take care of the family. Now, I doubt he meant that as a 6-year-old, you have to start doing it. But me as a kid, I'm like, I got to start taking care of the family. And the only way that I knew how was doing what he did. But, you know, it's one of those things, like I said, where, you know, if a kid comes up to you and says, oh, I want to be a fireman, it's like, oh, cute, you're going to be one when you grow up. But in my case, I was like, hey, I want to be a rapper. And they're like, we got a booth right now. We got a thing, like, you could jump in right now. So I kind of started doing it. And I did end up, you know, helping my family when I was 8 years old, paying bills, doing all this stuff. I was part of a group called 3 Down, a bunch of crazy stuff. But that name was given to me, Baby Pun. And then when I started rapping, I stopped for a bit. And when I started rapping again, when I got out of high school, I was like, I want a name that is me, but is different. Like, I don't want to have a separation between the artist and the person. So Rios is my last name, R-O-S, and it means rivers in Spanish. Gotcha. So I was like, oh, Chris Rivers, flow like rivers. I was like, cool. So I switched my last name to this. It meant the same thing, just a different language, and kind of played off that with the flow and whatnot, but it's still the same person.
What is the Dragons Up? Where does that come from?
It's straight nerd stuff, bro. Like, I was like, yo, I love dragons. How can I incorporate this into my career? And it's funny because I was like way more into dragons, like, when I first started rapping. Like, now, I still think they're like the coolest thing ever. But it's one of those things where it's just like, yeah, like, well, I kind of coined it as one in me trying to find a way to make it fit so hard, right? I came up with this thing where it's like, dragons should be easy to believe in. Like, when you think about it, most people don't believe in dragons. Oh, they're a mythical creature, right? And I had a conversation with a dude where he was like, oh, you believe in dragons? This is crazy. I'm like, do you believe in God? And he's like, oh, of course. I was like, so you believe in an entity that created the entire universe from nothingness? That if they wanted a dragon to exist, they could go, a dragon could exist. Yeah. That being is way more incredible and difficult to believe in because it could do so much more than a dragon. But you won't believe in a dragon. You'll believe in something so much greater, but you won't believe in something simple. And I correlated that to, like, you won't believe in yourself. You should believe in yourself. This is the easy thing to believe, but you'll believe in 1,000 other things that could stop you from being successful before you think that you could believe in the one thing that could actually power you through. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not on you. Yeah, it's in you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, exactly. So, like, it's one of those things. So, like, I kind of correlated that. So when I say Dragons Up, it's like it's empowering that belief that you could believe in yourself. You could believe in that thing that's supposedly hard to believe in, but it's actually easy because you should be able to believe in yourself easily because you're the bomb.
No, that's dope, bro. You know? You really sat down and nerded out on that. You're
I was like, this gotta work.
I gotta figure this out.
Yeah, and it worked.
No, that's dope, man. Yeah, you really, like I said, you have so much for people that haven't picked up yet. He's the son of Big Pun. I wanted to say that as late as possible. Okay. Because you're your own
5 minutes in, you held off. You know what I'm saying? Like, you did it, bro. You did it.
Because it's a huge thing in your life, but you're so obviously so much more. You're doing so much dope shit.
Thank you.
But we have to address that, you know?
Of course.
But yeah, for people that don't know, he's Big Pun's son. And I just can't imagine growing up with that in your head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One, you're 6. which
Yeah.
is already tough because I have a 5-year-old, so I can't imagine if
Wait till they're 6.
I can't imagine if I pass at 5 or
Yeah,
6, and
no, that'd be
now
nuts.
what I've taught her is definitely not enough. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So growing up, did you receive more love, or would you say more hate, or was it kind of weird because did everyone know in New York that you're this person? Or
So it was a weird thing. Like people did know, and I think the unique experience comes from like when you're 5 or when you're 6, rather. You know, you're interested in being a kid. Like you're just a kid. You're going around doing kid stuff like La 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 and La La Land. At 6 years old, I had to learn how to decipher between a person that was genuinely my friend versus their parents telling that kid to be my friend because they're trying to get ins or trying to think that we have more than what we had because people assume you're rich when you're not, all this stuff. So then they want things from you. So I'm 6 learning how terrible people could be, how much people could just be around you just for using you. And then I always kept it close to my chest. I never like tried to say, I never introduced myself as his son or when I was in school because I didn't want the unwanted attention or again, I've been followed home. I've gotten into fights. I've been like, you know, so many things have happened because of the assumption of what I had or people trying to test me. There's been people that are trying to like, first day at school, like whole groups of people trying. So it's like, it's definitely, you know, you have the name and the notoriety with none of the benefits that come with that life or that lifestyle and none of the protection of a father. So even a perfect correlation of that would be when he never wanted to leave the hood, right? So we lived in houses, but in the hood, right there in the Bronx, right? So when he was alive, we got a house on Commonwealth and we was building it up. And people knew he lived there. He knew he had mad guns. He was big pun. He really was what he rapped about. He was hood. He'll kill you, all that stuff. Cool. So everyone respected him, but they knew he lived. Soon as he died, within a few months or within a year, 2 home invasions. Wow. Because they knew he lived there. They knew his family lived there, but the dude who was protecting the house is gone now. We were there both times. You know what I'm saying? So it was, thankfully we was asleep, but they knew the layout of the house, even though they did it in the dark. It was people that's been in the house before. All this stuff.
It's always usually.
You know what I'm saying? So like, again, so it's that as, so I think that situation kind of sums up the sentiment of it where it's like, like, but it was the flip side of it was like some of my best friends today are the ones that when they found out, it didn't matter to them. You know what I'm saying? So I could see when someone's there for real reasons.
Yeah, quicker.
Yeah, quicker. You know what I'm saying? And also it taught me how to grow up faster and things like that. So yeah, it was definitely interesting. And then also I would say, not to be long-winded about it, but I would also say the aspect of when I started getting into music, having such a large shoes to fill or a shadow, there was a lot of me trying to figure out my own identity. So having identity issues in the sense that I know I know who I am a bit, and I'm discovering who I am, but all these people want me to be the next him.
Yeah.
So trying to find that middle ground where if I try to appease them, certain things go well, but then I go further away from myself. Yeah. So having that kind of dichotomy of trying to figure out, like, is it worth it to be outside of myself or to please these people, or do I try to be more myself but lose all this potential fans or interest? So discovering that, and you know, as I got older, I just, you know, discovered more myself, became more comfortable, and you know, and have more of my own thing.
And I think like there's a lot of because obviously since you were little, you're on the internet wasn't huge yet, but as you grew, the internet got bigger and bigger and bigger. So a lot of your story is on the internet.
Yeah.
And people make different assumptions because of what they see on the internet.
For sure.
And one of them that I really wanted to address is because your mom's been on pods and different things like that. And I wanted to shout her out because the person that I've met, the person that I see, she did an amazing job, bro. Like, she rocks. She had a crazy, hard, difficult job to do raising children by herself. You know what I'm saying? And in this weird limelight, dealing with home invasions, dealing with this and that, and like everything that you're doing, and I've watched so many countless podcast interviews, everything with you, and the way that you've addressed these conflicts and beefs and all that is just like a direct reflection of how she raised you. So obviously I don't know her, but I did want to shout her out because
she rocks. Shout out to my mom.
She is obviously an amazing person, and I know she gets like a weird flack online, but I'm like, that can't be because she raised this person that's amazing. Assumptions.
Like if people know, and she talks about it a lot, and which she's gonna start doing more, where like, you know, all of it is assumptions, and she rarely has the opportunity to show herself and show how she is, so people could judge her based off of who she is. It's always based off of other things. So, but she's gonna have more stuff where she's showing herself and her personality, and kind of separating herself from just being somebody's wife or somebody's mother, and just as a person. And she's gonna find her tribe for sure. But she is awesome.
Yeah,
she is awesome.
definitely.
Thank you for saying that.
Of course.
Yeah.
So another thing that I wanted to talk about, kind of in that realm, is so everyone kind of assumed that you guys were just rich.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, and was that the case, or did you have some money growing up, or how did that
No,
work?
so shortly after he died, pretty much everything else kind of went into dust. We stood in that house, the home invasion house. It wasn't done being built because he was getting renovations, and when he died, that stopped. So it was kind of like an unfinished house that we was living in for a bit. Then after that, we lost that crib, and then we kind of all got separated. Like, I was at my cousins, they were living at my grandmother's, and at some point we went into the shelter, like a bunch of stuff. And it was just really bad business dealings. My mom fought for years in court, and finally won. They did like audits and everything. They showed like there was money that she was supposed to be getting that she wasn't. And I only try to ever speak on like facts, because there's so much like he say, she say, and so much people that would just believe. Like, you could go online, you can see the court documents about the audits and the things that happened. There was money that she didn't get that people think she got, and she didn't, and she went and she fought for it for years, won the case, and now she has the rights of my father's estate. Like, now she has ownership over the name and stuff. So it was a long fight, decades, and
Which is crazy that you even have to fight for that. You know?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it's a lot
terrible.
of it's a lot of stuff, and she fought for it for decades, and also like in the court, but also getting dragged publicly. You know what I'm saying? Like, so and when she decides to talk about her story, like it'll be awesome, and it'll be great and clarifying. But if we're just, just facts, I won't say he say, she say stuff, but people can go online, they can see the court documents, they can see the case if they're really interested before making assumptions. But yeah, so we didn't have much, I would say now, and I'm an adult and I'm 30. So like, obviously I've been working since I was a kid, and like trying to, I was always the friend with I can't hang out this weekend, I gotta go. I never had like an on the books job. I was doing some random
like
hustling.
What?
So like there was times where I was like loading 18 wheelers full of haystacks for like a horse company, because
in New York,
in Manhattan, I had a friend.
They got horses over there
in Manhattan. They do with carriages and stuff like that. So like I would find stuff
I
like
did not
that.
Know that.
I do stuff like people around the neighborhood, if they needed like to declutter their crib or like stuff like that. Like I'll do a lot of like, I'll tune in with a bunch of like movers, like different stuff like that. I worked for our company for I've been to like over like 1,000 bar mitzvahs. I was like the person taking all the orders for like the airbrush stuff and like different stuff. Yeah, like since I was like 12, I was doing that for just random stuff. And then I was like, I'm a rap. Like, so it was that. But yeah, like you gotta hustle, you gotta make your money. And and thankfully, like it taught me a lot of character. I'm not, I'm grateful for the life I had. I didn't need to be rich to learn how to, have a rich soul. You know?
How was it once you finally started rapping and you're doing, like, I need to be walked through this process, because like going on Funk Flex is like
nerve-wracking,
insane. So like what? Please, just for me, and I'm sure some people want to hear, like, what's the build up for that? Like, how do you get the text, you get the email? Like, like what is this process?
You're going to be so disappointed. Like,
oh, no.
It's so not what the people think we were having a whole conversation prior, all this stuff, bro. Like, it's one of those things where, like, you might know somebody that knows Flex, and that was, like, our situation. So management came through, got him to be willing to do it, literally pulled up. He had me in a side room for a bit.
Okay.
And then, like, came into the room, and then it just starts. Like literally, like the moment you see start on camera, like for the start of, like, we didn't have any conversation prior to that. It was just that, like, yo, this person here, down. Such and such, rapped, and then dapped me up and left. Like, it was like no relationship build on that. But that's how it is in a lot of stuff. Like, it's kind of more in and out. Like, behind the smoke and mirrors, they think there's so much like more building. And like, it's not really like that. But there was a lot of build up to be able to get to a point to be on Flex. Like, and working on it, and even writing that verse, like coming up with like a Flex worthy verse and practicing it 1,000 times. And
so how long did you have to practice once you knew?
It was not. It's weird because humans do a thing where, like, you can say something right 1,000 times, and then in the moment when you need to say it right, you mess up.
That's why I hate intros. I do that all the time.
and it goes to show that like you have it in you. Like you know what it is. You could do it right. You did it right 1,000 times. You mess up because you get in your head and thinking you could fail. You know what I mean? So like you mess yourself up.
Man.
So you have to get somebody said it, proper preparation prevents poor performance.
Yeah.
It's a lot of P's. But like it's one of those things where it's like it's true, like I over prepare. So there's been screw the flex where it's like there's been times where I want BET, right? Mm-hmm. These are nerve wracking because they'll hit you up the day before. It's like, hey, you want to be on this? Cool. here's a beat you never heard before, and we want you to rap for like 2 minutes. So, okay, cool, like a 48 bars, 60 bars. And
God
like, so cool. So writing that, so I had to write that, right? Then to memorize it within a day, because you're going to film it. And like, so I'm like, cool, memorize it in a day. I have to write it. And then I'm like, cool, I wrote it. Write it 18 times by hand, right?
Okay.
Then say it 100 times. Then go to sleep for an hour so it resets my brain to think it's the next day. Write it another 18 times. Say it another 100 times. Then record it. Then try it on 15 different beats to see if I can match each tempo. Go back to sleep. And do that for a 24-hour period of me cycling sleep joints and writing it so I could have it the next day and be good enough to and it's stuff. And then the moment comes and your heart is beating at 1,000, but then you gotta seem like you the chillest, coolest, most confident
like
dude in the world.
This is a freestyle.
Yeah, like I can't even breathe. Like my heart's beating so hard, I'm short of breath. But I gotta rap this like it's nothing. So it's becoming that actor and locking in. And the first, like I would say, the first 2 to 4 bars, like the first like 8 seconds, sometimes I still feel that quiver. But after you're in the flow of it, you know, and then sometimes there's a part of the verse where you know it's kind of your weakest part because it's like a little tongue twister thing. So when that part's approaching in your head, you start getting nervous and your heart starts speeding up again. It's like, and then you get through that part and you're like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
And then I always say like, because my fiance Kayla, she always says like, oh, you're not excited? I'm like, no, I'm not excited. Like, I'm never excited when I have opportunities. When I'm done with the thing, like when my last word is said and it's said, then I feel such relief and awesome. Like now I can enjoy myself. But
man, I'm the same way. Yeah, exact same way.
Yeah. So
my wife does all that. She literally texts me, "Have fun, this and that on the pod," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'll talk to you after." Because I'm locked in. You know, like I'm ready to go. Yeah.
Which is funny because I saw a post that hit hard where it was like, it's sad to know that you never felt proud of your achievements or enjoyment with your achievements. You only ever felt relief. And it made me realize, I'm like, oh, I got to start shifting my perspective, because if I'm only living to feel relieved from the anxieties opposed to the enjoyment of accomplishing something, that you're kind of missing out on a big part of
for
pursuit.
sure. Yeah, because that anxiety is a huge part of my life. I deal with that. And I finished The Last Dance recently again, Jordan, and they had asked him, like, are you nervous for those last shots, you know? Like, and he's like, why would I be nervous for a shot I haven't taken yet? And I was like, damn, I need to start thinking like that. You know?
It's those people with those mentalities.
Yeah, because I'm just, that shot I haven't taken yet, I'm thinking about it 50 times. I'm going over it, but I haven't even taken it yet. So, like, let me just try and live in a moment.
You're not believing in the dragon. You're not believing in, I'm telling you right now, you're believing in all the 1,000 things that could go wrong, but not
Dragons
the fact
up
that you
in
can
the
just
chat.
do it. You know what I'm
Dragons up in the
saying? You know what I'm saying? It's not on you, it's in you, bro.
Yo, that's so funny, bro. But all right, now, so yeah, to put a button on that Funk Flex. When you walked out of Funk Flex, there wasn't people ready to sign a deal. There wasn't label people right out the door like, hey.
This is something I gotta talk about, because it's one of those things where, like, I've had so many opportunities, and some people be hitting me up like, yo, like, you know who you should do a song with? Kendrick Lamar. I'm like, oh yeah, let me just text Kendrick. Like, it's one of those, like, yo, bro, like, it's not like that. Like, it's really dog eat dog. It's really like, right after Flex, I jumped on the train and went back to the hood. Like, there was my life did not change besides the fact that, great, I now don't have to be shit. I'm sorry, I mean,
you're
like,
relieved.
now I'm super relieved that I don't have to do this verse and mess up maybe. Or like, but yeah, nothing changed, bro. I got a few views from that.
Did you at least celebrate at the crib when you got back?
No, bro, I lived in the hood. I celebrated the fact I made it off the train without nothing crazy.
You didn't hit the bodega and get you like the snacks you like?
I always got snacks no matter what was going on. Like,
so
that's not a celebration at this point. That's a Tuesday. Like, yeah, nah. But yeah, it was one of those things like, yo, like, people think your life could change after a moment. It's not. Like, there's so many incredible things that look incredible, like, but did it actually change? Did it actually turn into financial gain? Like, the Flex thing, cool, it put good numbers. And that's something I had to learn in my career early, where I goofed, where I had dope opportunities, but didn't know how to capitalize off of the eyes on me afterward. Where it's like, cool, have a project ready to come out, have a follow up with a single, have stuff followed up where it's not just this, oh, dope, you're going to be on this thing that's going to get you a lot of views and that's it.
Yes.
It's, okay, this thing is happening. A lot of eyes are going to be on me. Now that a lot of eyes are on me, I need to follow up with this thing that could make those eyes on me turn into genuine followers or into money somehow. So I didn't have that business acumen at the time, where, I kind of had to learn the hard way in that sense, where there was some things that happened where I'm like, damn, that could have been capitalized off better, but I didn't.
And that's a gem that because our platform is nowhere near anything Funk Flex or anything, but we have a small audience. So when people want to come on and I haven't seen them post in a while. I haven't seen them. I'm like, listen, get your stuff in motion. Once you have something in motion, come on, because then you can capitalize off the little bit of eyes that we're gonna have. You know what I mean?
I always say have something going on. As when something is happening where more eyes on you, have something going on that you can follow up. Yeah. That's why it's good to have some in the chamber, but it's also good to just be consistent prior. Because even if I had nothing in the chamber after, but I had 1,000 pieces of content that was beforehand,
en route,
people go and they're becoming obsessed with everything you're doing. But if you release something once a month, once a week, and then something happens, and it's also that pressure. If you're inconsistent with your content, it creates a pressure of like, oh, this one needs to do really well. Because if you're a sniper and you only get one shot, then it needs to kill. But if you have a machine gun, it's like some of these can miss. Like I got 1,000 bullets that I'm shooting. Like some can miss.
Somebody's getting hit.
Something's getting hit. You know what I'm saying? So like I say like be consistent so that when the time comes, when the opportunity arises, you're already prepared. You're not playing catch up. You're overly prepared for the moment.
Yeah, you already got stuff in motion. You're not trying to catch up. Like, oh damn, I got all these eyes on me.
That's the worst feeling. Yeah, because now you feel the pressure of like I gotta make this moment happen where it's like
did you feel that at all with the Fear of the Crown video? You had stuff in motion, but that was a different type of.
So I had no idea. So I didn't know
the video was crazy because the song was already out,
right?
For a little while before the video, right?
Yeah. So the song was out for a bit, and it was cool. And I wanted to make a song about child abuse, right? Because I make song. I'm a big mental health advocate. And anything I could talk about, I make songs about depression, about suicide, or trying to find your self-worth. And I'm like, cool, let me make a song about child abuse. And the video we shot, shout out to Danny Cinema and them, they did an amazing job where we wanted to shoot it in a way that shows the cycle of child abuse, where like the abuser was abused as a kid, grew up, became the thing, right? Cool. And, I did grow up in a home with domestic violence, but that's where I was pulling from, but I wasn't trying to make the video it wasn't about me, it was about the thing, right? But when and shout out to them, I think it was the people we did Team Backpack with, or like this big media thing, and they did ciphers and stuff. But when they posted it on their page, which had a lot at the time, their wording was Big Pun's son makes a song about like his father abusing. Like they worded it in a way that made it more directly like about
this is me, a documentary.
This is me talking about my father abusing me, opposed to me making a song about domestic violence and the cycle of it. So while again it was one of those other things in my life where crazy amount of eyes, crazy amount of trap, but it was a lot of negative and it was a lot of positive stuff. People saying, yo, you saved my life with this made me feel seen. There's a lot, 1,000 people saying that, and that's what makes it worth it. That's what makes it priceless. But then there's the people that's like, yo, like you talking shit about your pops, you betrayed them, or you doing this, how dare you do this, we hate, like, and to this day I get stuff in regards to that. So it's like, yeah, like, when you have a story to tell or things to pull from, I had to learn that, if your parent is famous, you can't just even talk about your own life experiences without backlash. You know what I mean?
Because it involves them.
Because it involves them and the preconceived notions that people have of them, or their preconceived notions of how,
when you shot that video, did you have any idea that was were you guys kind of like, damn, this could be portrayed like that? Or you guys literally thought honestly, it was like because
the song was out at the time for a bit. And I honestly, like, when that blew up, like prior to that, like, I was doing little numbers here and there on certain things, but like, it wasn't like we was going viral because like I had no idea, like, and I think it wouldn't have blown up like that if it wasn't worded that way. I think if they just like put the song, like, Chris Rivers' new song, and people watched it, it wouldn't have. But with that, what blew up was the narrative.
Yes,
the song was trash. Like, you know what I'm saying? The song was hot doodle garbage. You hear it now, I'm yelling, like I don't know how to rap properly. Like I didn't know how to rap for mad long. So the song itself was trash. The message, cool. The lyrics probably profound, but the delivery, a lot of stuff about it was trash. The video was awesome, but the message, because of how it was framed, that went viral. And that was the thing. So I don't think I didn't know that they were going to write that. Okay. So I didn't know it was going to do that.
How did you feel? Because you on one side you want it to go to as many people as possible, but on the other side you're like, that's not what I meant.
Yo, I was numb. At that point I was numb. I was so used to dealing with so much consistent backlash from so many things that at that point I probably manifested. Like I was at the point where I was like, cool, just another thing I got to deal with. Like I learned growing up now, like at the age of 31, that like so much of my life I was dissociating where I would numb myself to what was like it almost most of my life I feel like I was watching a movie of my life, not experiencing it in first person. I felt that detached from it. So like the most I could feel is what you could feel if you watched a movie of something, not actually it. And I had to do that to cope with, not had to, but it was a coping mechanism to deal with all the stuff. So when stuff would happen like that and I'm getting thousands of like death threats and all this stuff, I was just like, all right, it's another Tuesday. Let me get some snacks from the bodega. Like it's whatever. So I kind of disassociated, like honestly. And I found a good sweet middle ground where it's like now I'm being more present and I'm not disassociating, but I also just don't care when someone hates me. If anything, just leave your profile unlocked so I can do Retaliatory Tuesdays. Like you know,
and use it as content.
Yeah.
Man, that's really tough to hear, bro. I'm sorry that was a big part of your life. That's tough, man.
It's all good.
Man.
Like start crying.
All good.
It's like it still sucks, bro. Yeah.
Yo, so sorry to interrupt this amazing episode, but we did want to let y'all know we do have merch available now. We have Beyond the Brand podcast, Why Do You Do What You Do shirts available now. They are on Shockaware heavyweight tees, so they fit a little oversized. If you have any questions, please hit us up. You can DM us Beyond the Brand Pod on Instagram. We are asking $35 a piece on these shirts. They are heavyweight shirts, so they're definitely high quality. Please let us know if you'd like one. It's an easy way to support the podcast and support what we got going on. And let's get back to the episode. Do you think, because where I'm at, I'm same age. I'm 31 as well. And I feel like I'm the best I've ever been mentally at this age right now. So hopefully you are as well. Do you feel like you've done certain things to kind of cope with those past traumas? Are you obviously still dealing with it? Like, yeah,
for sure. I think a sense of self is really important.
Okay.
And I think also like acknowledging, like, I saw this quote, and I'm going to butcher it to death, but it's basically like every man has two lives, and the second one starts when he realizes he only has one.
I seen that.
Right. And I think that is something that was an unintentional voice crack. I'm not about to cry. I was like, so something that really hit me. It's one of those things where like I lived in so much like perpetual, like you have regrets when you're living in the past and you have anxiety when you're living in the future, but learning how to be like present right now, like I had so much things I wish I could have did better or wish I did or this and that. And like, I would always be caught up in my head about it, but like learning like, yo, like give yourself some grace, give yourself the ability to learn. Like I had a kind of a unique, and so like I didn't realize, and I'm not promoting that people should do this, but I didn't realize how much like trauma I actually had from all the stuff that I went through until I did like a macro dose. I tried it one time. I did the psilocybin mushrooms. I tried a macro dose. First time I cried in like 10 years. And like it completely took me out of like my ego, and I got to view my life from like almost an outside perspective and view it objectively and realize like, oh snap, like you went through all that and stuff that I don't even talk about, and then it's like cool, and then you're here, and I realized how disassociated and how unattached I was, and all those barriers I built up. And once I realized that, I started doing the self work, growing, learning how to love myself. So mentally, I feel like I'm in the best place I've been, and now it's about getting physically back to the best place I've been, because I'm self destructive in the same way my father was, where the first thing I try to destroy is myself. You know what I'm saying? So like if I'm stressed, I have a bad day, and I'm on a health journey, I'm like, okay, cool. Let me destroy myself by failing at the diet real quick and going back, so I could tell myself internally that like, oh, you're not going to be consistent. You know what I'm saying? Like ruining that aspect to go back into that state of anxiety and bad habits that I'm more used to, even though I don't want to be there. It's what I'm used to. So learning how to pattern recognition and learning like when I'm spiraling or going into those things, like no, like don't do the same things you've always done. So learning that and learning yourself is important, so you don't always spiral into the same habits.
Yeah, I'm so glad to hear that you're in a good space, especially with you have your fiance, you guys are out here together.
Gotta do it for her, if not for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's so dope, man. I can't wait till you guys have a child. I don't know if you guys want a child, but I think you guys would be like awesome parents, bro. And it changes. Like, bro, I could literally cry at any moment because I have my daughter. Like, you're going to be crying all the time.
Yo,
it's crazy.
I hear that. And, like, I'm like, the different stuff that makes you emotional. But, we want some boys in the future. You know what I'm saying? Like, people come at us, like, cause, no.
Number
one, healthy babies.
Yeah.
Number 2, boy. Number 3, if it could be twins, awesome. Like,
that'd be crazy.
Yeah, but yeah, we definitely want kids, and we're really looking forward to that.
Yeah,
that
you guys would be awesome parents, bro.
Yeah.
You guys are.
I'm gonna slay it. Yeah, she's gonna be an amazing mom. Like,
back to the dragons, bro.
Yeah,
I'm gonna slay it.
Exactly.
This guy
I'm glad you saw it. Nah, but thank you. We're excited for that.
Yeah, that's dope. So with that video, you know, I was doing some more research and just kind of finding out about, you know, you've talked about it a lot, just the abuse that you faced with your father in the house, even around your mom and things like that. When he passed, was that kind of or were you too young? Like, was it a bittersweet type of situation? Because this was someone that you were kind of scared of, but obviously you loved him too. Mm-hmm. So what was that feeling like when he actually passed?
Kind of exactly that. The moment was interesting, and yeah, like I was young, but I remember stuff when I was like 1.5.
Really?
Yeah, I was walking at 8 months. I was having full conversations like at 1 and change. Wow. Like, yeah, and I have a lot of memory of like those times and those days, but. Yeah, when he passed, it was one of those things where like I didn't even think it was real. So like what happened was we got picked up. We saw him that morning because the house was getting renovated. They said we was living in it, and we were staying in a hotel. Mm-hmm. So none of us got to say bye to him that morning. We saw him in the bed, but he was sleeping, right? So cool. So then we head to school. Then we get picked up pretty early from school. And my uncle picks us up, and he looks stressed, right? My mom's not there. We wondering like, oh, cool, we got out of school early. It's whatever, right? Cool. So we get to my grandmother's crib, and then my mom shows up, and she sits us all down. And this is after he passed, and she goes, I got something to tell y'all, blah, blah, blah. It's not on you, it's in you, all that stuff. And then she goes, yo, your father, yeah. She's like, your father's dead, right? And I start laughing, not because I'm like, yeah, like, but because I thought it was a joke, because we'll hear, for instance, right? We'll all be in the crib, we'll hear a gunshot downstairs. Mm-hmm. Me and my sisters run down, we see a dude dead on the floor, right? Cool, right? Regular Tuesday. And then we go up to him and we're screaming, crying because we knew him. And my dad standing over him with a gun, and the dude would be like, ah, and it was just like a fake bullet hole with ketchup. So these type of pranks.
That's great.
These are the type of pranks like he would pull. Like he was a prankster. So I'm thinking when he said he dead, like, oh, he's gonna pop out the closet with a super soaker or something like that. So I'm the youngest, so like I'm here live. I'm like, no way. I'm looking around, waiting to see where he's at, and then everybody else starts crying. I'm like, wow, they're really committing to this gag, and I'm like, oh, and then I cried because I realized it was true, and that was the first time. That was I try not to cry after that because my father always did not let me cry, and so I was like, cool. If I keep crying, I'm gonna bring shame to his name, right? So I didn't cry, and then we went to the funeral. And it was then at the funeral that I realized the magnitude of what he did, because we had a funeral
even as a child.
He had because I'm like, oh, he's a rapper. Like I was in the studio sometimes with him. But I'm like, you don't really know. Like I'm like, cool. But the funeral was the time where the streets. He had a funeral in the Bronx and Ortiz Funeral Home in Castle Hill. Like a parade was happening. Thousands of people in the streets. Wyclef was playing the guitar in the thing, and then there's people who didn't even know him. Like lines of people just wanted to be at his casket. People that never met him before, dropping to their knees, ripping their shirts off their back, and yelling. Like I'm like, oh wow, like he had an impact on so many people. Like you know what I'm saying. So seeing that was crazy, and then and kind of just like again that disassociation where it was like, okay, like my father's gone. What does that mean? And like, I feel like the pain of it was felt more so in the lack growing up when I saw like friends or different people interacting with their dads. I remember getting choked up one time, seeing like a dude, like a father, like playing with his son. And it was so thin. I was just in the park and I was just like, that's what parents, like fathers do with their kids. I was like, that's crazy. Like, so, and then my friend, one of my close friends, shout out to AB, he taught me, like, when I first started growing hair, like, facial hair and stuff, like, he taught me how to shave, like, different stuff like that. Like, the lack of it I felt over time. But, yeah, the monster was gone, though. You know what I'm saying? So that aspect, but then it was replaced by all these other monsters. So the monster never left. It just got replaced by something else. So there was always something bad happening in the area. But ultimately, the home was a little different. But now, again, you replace stability and income, but that energy in the house, now that energy's gone, but now you're homeless and now you're doing all this stuff. So it was always a perpetual state of just like chaos, you know.
Wow.
But awesome at the same time.
Why do you say that?
You know, 'cause, I think it teaches character. I think like it didn't kill me. You know what I'm saying? So like it's one of those things where it's like I learned, like I thought it was normal. All those things I thought was normal. Like, you know what I mean? Even when I was like first started dating, I was like, oh, like getting treated like straight garbage. I'm like, oh, I'm not getting my ass beat. This is fine. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like just learning what like is the correct treatment, or learning what healthy feels like, learning what good energy towards you feels like. It took a while. So, but now any like, my fiance, she'll do something small like that, any normal health. And I'm just like so appreciative of it because I'm like, wow, like I never received that. Like, that's so nice. So like, yeah, so I'm grateful that I could be like, find the like enjoyment in all the little things sometimes from it, you know? So.
What was there somebody in that time frame that kind of showed you that made that change, where you're like, oh, this is what good energy is, or this is what, you know what I'm saying? Because you were just dealing with a lot of bullshit. But
yikes!
Did somebody come in where they're like,
just
slowly kind of happen?
Actually, yeah. One of my first, one of my closest friends to this day, Sharif. Shout out to Sharif. His family is like a family, right? And even when I was home, like he would give me his hand-me-downs all the time. He would give me like different stuff. Like I would wear shoes 2 sizes smaller than mine just so I could have new shoes, and he'd give me stuff like that. And his house was the first time I had dinner like at a table with like other people, like a family there. His mom, I was scared to curse around his mom. Even to this day, I don't curse around her. Like, she's so like, you know, so that type of mother. And went to his grandma's house and they like treat me like family. So like I got to see kind of what the other side was like how structure and love and discipline, but healthy type of discipline, like how that was. And it really opened my eyes up. And there was deep conversations that me and him have where like I allowed him to be more grateful for the things he had, because to him that was normal, regular. You know what I mean? So I was like, no, like this is amazing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and he feels grateful for it, of course. But yeah, I think that was a dope instance of it. And then, like I said a couple times, like shout out to Scorp, my cousin. When I was homeless, he let me sleep in his crib. Like he's done a lot of stuff for me. He's like the closest thing to like a big brother or a father figure that I've had after my pops. And his son, like, you know, like being in his house, like seeing him interact with his son was like, oh wow, like this dude really this dude cares about his son and he treats him right, and he's trying to like teach him how to grow. Like, so like seeing those things was definitely interesting growing up, and I internalized it and was like, yo, when I become a father, I'm a rock. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, but
that's dope, bro. And so now getting to right now, you're on this whole other path. You obviously you could still rap. You still do your thing, but you're kind of on this content route, if that's what you want to call it. What made that change in your mind? Like, and when did that change happen? I seen some of your YouTube videos. Right. So was that original or like? Yeah.
So I think like I've been trying to not rap for almost as long as I've been rapping.
That's
right.
Crazy. Yeah.
Like I hate this so much, and not the actual like.
So you don't want to spit a freestyle after this?
No. No. I'd rather fight you. So like it's one of those things where like I always did it because I was expected to do it. Then I was good at it. Then they started bringing in money, and like and then it got to the point where I was like, okay, I've been doing this for so long. If I quit now, I'm gonna feel like a freaking quitter. But then I felt miserable, and I was getting more and more miserable, and I wasn't living. Like, it's only so long that you could do something that you genuinely don't want to do. I was tired of the anxiety. I was tired of like just not living and like not doing something, because if you're going to be a rapper, you got to do it every day and a lot. Like, you got to work in your craft, you got to do it. So I'm like, I'm dedicating more than a 9 to 5 to this thing that's sucking the life out of me.
It's like a corporate job at that point.
Yeah. I'm like, why did I choose this thing that's supposed to not be like, if you're going to do it, then love it, you know? So for a while, like for years, I wanted to stop. And then when I came out here was kind of like when, and having conversations with my fiance and her seeing me miserable and different stuff, like, yo, try to search for the things that you like. So for a while, I wanted to be like a coder. I don't know if you saw one of the Monday motivations I posted about the whole N-word thing. You gotta watch that; it's hilarious. Okay. But anyway, yeah. So I totally side note. But I stopped rapping for a bit. I did a whole coding camp, And I in that coding, I learned how to like front end, back end coding, 4 different coding languages. I while I was doing rapping and some people don't know, I joined like I got hired by a tech company. I was a programmer for a while, building mainframes and building like identity proofing systems and all that stuff. And I was like, I spent $17,000 on this boot camp. I was up from 6 a.m. to 1 a.m. every day, grinding, learning, because you got to learn all these languages in 3 months. Got the job, did it, had the job for like 2 months. I was staying awake at 2 in the morning, like, I hate this. I hate this so much.
No.
So and then I had this constant anxiety inside of me of like, oh my God, I can't. Everything I have to, like, everything I decide to do, like, it has to. No, well, not even that, but like such pressure of like this pressure to find what my thing is so much because like 1, I'm getting older. 2, I have obligations and responsibilities to my family and to like, make sure bills are paid. I'm like, cool, if I'm gonna slow down and doing music and slow the money up here to pursue this next thing, then this next thing needs to be the thing because I'm running out of time. I'm running out of time. And then I hated that. I'm like, oh my God, like, and I spent so much money and time on this. I'm like, so now I feel the pressure. I'm like, yo, if I do something next, then I gotta make sure it's the thing that I really want to do. And it was so much pressure and so much stuff I realized I'm like, just like first thing that comes to me, like, what do you stop trying to pick things that fit all these boxes of like, oh, financially this is going to be safe and this is going to do this and like, yo, what do you just like as a little kid, like what do you just want to do? I'm like, yo, I like making people feel good. I like talking. I like having good energy around me. I like making people and I like describing. I like taking my perspective and saying it in a way that maybe brought in someone else's perspective on that same thing. Maybe you never saw it that way. Yeah. So I was like, yo, let me try to do that. So then I started learning editing and shooting and going on YouTube and experimenting with that while I was doing the music still. Like, and music at this point is just like, okay, cool. I'm just bringing it, like, it's just to pay bills. Yeah. So I'm like, cool, let me start experimenting with this YouTube stuff. And then finding my niche, upgrading the cameras, learning how to like shoot and edit better, and then finding my voice in it. And then I started doing these to learn the new camera that I got better and to learn the mic stuff and learn how to use the new editing software. I was like, let me start doing short form monologues so I can use the camera every day and see how and just believe in myself and just follow my happy. My mom always says like, yo, like if you're happy, like, she says, like, God would never put anything in you that wasn't meant for you. Nothing meant, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, he wouldn't put anything in you that wasn't meant for you to try to do. So I'm like, yo, I have this desire to do this thing. Let me just do it. Let me put it out there. And worst case scenario, I'll learn how to edit better and it gets no views. Started following that happy, and I'm getting more engagement and more people that know me and love me for who I genuinely am than ever. It's way lower lift, no anxiety inducing. I don't have to be super performative. I'm literally just sitting there talking. Obviously, it's something like, okay, I got to be funny and stuff like that. But it's like, it's what, and it's still good quality content. But I'm like, I'm just following my happy. And I think that the bravery that takes, knowing that like, okay, like, what if I pursue this and doesn't, like, I'm in my 30s, I can't be financially. I'm like, yo, just lock in and just follow the thing that makes you happy. That stuff's gonna fall into place, and it's been happening.
And it's been working.
It's been happening.
It's been dope, man. You were just talking about it off air that we could talk about this because this is gonna be after. But you have that Hamilton thing that you're.
When is this coming out?
The day after.
This is
coming the day after that you do that.
Okay. So this is fine.
Yeah,
okay,
I checked off already to make sure before I brought it up.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so I will be. I don't know when they're gonna be releasing that, but I get to perform. Ironically, my father's song with Black Thought on stage for the first time, and it's never been performed. They never performed together, and it's to pay homage to the great Lin-Manuel Miranda and to pay tribute to him. So I'm honored to be a part of it, and it's gonna be dope. First time performing in like years. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm getting ready for it. But it's exciting. Like it's different. Yeah,
getting back in that pen.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully never again. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I do not want to perform.
Well,
I don't want to. Yeah.
Speaking on that performance thing, I have to ask this. Just the hip hop in me, bro.
Yeah,
just
do it. Yeah.
Indulge me.
Yeah, of course.
So I seen Fat Joe on that Math Hoffa podcast.
Yes.
And he said that you were going to do a performance that he was putting on, but then you had canceled like the day before.
A tribute.
Is that true, or did that not happen?
A bit of it is true. And like it's the reason why I'm not saying every piece of it, and you're going to hate me for this, me and my mom spoke about it. Remember I said a thing about my mom, she's getting it. We spoke about it on a thing that's gonna, eventually. So I can't say too much about it. Okay. But what I will say is that there's more to the story than that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? There's definitely more to the story than that. And my whole career, I've never said a bad word about Joe. He knows that, and he's mentioned it, and he says he respects me for it. You know, I've never spoken ill of him, and he's never. He's obviously spoken ill of my mother, but he's never spoken ill of me per se. But in a sense of like, I will say that he's incredible at building narratives and storytelling. Like he is very, very impeccable at storytelling and building narratives. Like it's a skill. And when he tells these stories, it's an incredible way that he tells them that kind of there's so much truth strung in it and so much certain things left out that it paints the proper picture to put himself looking very pristine and who he feels on the outskirts to not look as pristine. So it's one of those things where it's like, cool, but, you know, and I see it, I'm like, I try not to engage with it at all because, again, like, I try to, like, I'm so over the whole, like, that whole can of worms. That's
because
like,
it's not your beef.
It's not.
At the end of the day.
It's not. Like, and like, it like, I literally, like, and unless I get asked questions about it, like, he's not on my mind. Like that stuff's never on my mind. Like I only talk about it when I get asked, like on an interview. So it's like it's not something that's like currently occupying my life or ever really has like beyond when it's spoken about. So like I try not to engage. Like I respect his business acumen. I respect his skill set, and like and if and when we do decide to talk about certain things or clear the air, it'll be on our platforms where we're able to finally benefit from the content. Usually something comes out, someone would ask me, it'll be like this, and I'll say something, not that you would do it, but like, again, like on other interviews, something gets strung, and then that interviewer or that episode would get crazy views, and then they benefit, and then all the backlash and public backlash will hit us. OD. So it's like, all right, cool. If we're going to talk about the stories, it'll be in our own space.
And you
know
can control your own narrative. And
and actually, and if we're going to get backlash, then at least we're getting the benefit at the same time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's one of those things. But what I will say is like, while there was truth in the story, there's also some things that maybe weren't super truthful and maybe some things that were left out. But
because when I will leave it at that. Because when I seen that, I was like, there's got to be more because
way more to it.
So that kind of answers. You're good, bro.
I'll tell you off camera.
Yeah, for sure.
Off camera,
But so our last question, our favorite question to ask, bro.
Okay.
You know, why do you do what you do?
Oh, wow.
I mean, you do so many different things, bro. Like I'm so excited, like genuinely so excited to see what you do in the future. Like you have the music submission thing going, which is like getting crazier and crazier.
It's
like
nuts.
The submissions are wild. But like, why do you do all these different things?
I would say I've always had this voice inside of my head that, for better or worse, would always scream at me. And a lot of times it would scream at me when I wasn't living in my truth or doing the things that I wanted to do. And unfortunately, that was for most of my life. So I would always hear this constant nagging in the back of my head of, you're going to die unfulfilled. You're going to live a whole life and you're going to have regrets at the end of it. And I am constantly pursuing things that silences that voice in my head. And that when it's not speaking, or rather when it's speaking like, this is, you actually happy right now, keep doing this. And when I could go to sleep at night and feel like I truly experienced this day, I did everything that I could, and I lived in the truth where that voice was silenced, I know I did the right thing. And I think all the diverse things that I do is because I'm constantly looking for things to silence that voice. And when it is silenced, those are the things that people see that I continue to do. So I found a few things that help silence that voice and helps build the voice inside of me that screams, you're on the right track, you're enjoying yourself. Maybe if you keep this up, you'll die with no regrets, with a full heart and an empty mind because you tried everything inside of it. And that's what I'm chasing and that's what I'm pursuing. So, and the biggest thing that I found is entertaining others, helping others, and bringing myself out there. So that's why I do what I do. If the voice is quiet, I know I'm on the right path. And right now it's been a little bit of silence in my head. And I've been enjoying it.
That's deep. That's deep. Even if the voice is loud, I feel like just changing that voice to where it's like screaming at you, you're going to be unfulfilled, where it's now screaming at you, you're doing great.
You're doing it.
You're doing it.
And I think you got to feed that voice. You got to feed it, because all I've been feeding was the one that's been constantly trying to warn me, yo, you're on the wrong path. You're on the wrong path because you know it inside, like you feel it, and it's screaming at me. But the more I do the right thing, the quieter that voice gets, and the louder the voice is that's telling you, yo, keep working at this. This is the right one. Going. So yeah, I'm
and the universe talks to you too, because you're gonna start getting these random looks.
Things are happening, and it's lining up. So yeah, it's the silence.
Man, I got goosebumps.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. You know what I'm saying? Which are on you, not in you.
Oh my god. Yeah. Yo, you really do this.
Yeah.
You really do
we out here. We're out here, bro.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, but that's why I do what I do. Yeah.
Yo, thank you so much, bro. I really am so happy that you allowed us to have you on our platform. You really did not need to, but it was dope to have you. Please shout out. Thank you so much, bro. Please shout out your Instagram, the Twitch, everything that you got going so they could follow. For sure. If anyone wants to, the main place that people can follow where the content kind of gets posted first and kind of leads you everywhere else is the Instagram. So you can follow that. It's Dragons and Rivers, spelled just like that. The Twitch is Chris Rivers. And the YouTube is Chris Rivers Universe. But I would say go to the Instagram. That's the place you get it first, and you kind of get the links from everywhere there. I got a lot of dope content, different segments between. You can go back to my old stuff and see the music. You can see the new stuff I'm doing. I guarantee you're going to find something on the page that is going to leave you smiling and at least a little bit entertained. So definitely check it out. And if you like it, leave a follow and stay tuned for more stuff. 100%. And yo, if y'all ever see him doing the song submissions, Manny almost won. He almost won, yo, bro. We got I didn't know hoed. It was him. I didn't know it was him. We got hoed. You want to know something that's crazy? Because you was going to win. So listen, absolutely going to win. Just to catch them up. So they did a song submission. Me and Manny, I made Manny submit a song because he didn't want to. Then I made him, I zelled him and said, pay for the skip so that it can get played. Yeah. We did it. He was between one and one other person. Literally, you were going to win. And the one that won, it was the last submission of the night. We almost weren't going to do it because it came in right after we started counting. But they did. The dude who submitted it, he was like, he's in the chat like crazy. Like, yo, I submitted it for my daughter. And he paid like $100 like for the ultras. So the winner paid. The winner paid. No, first, yo, everyone who got played paid. So like, but he paid for a super skip, and he also paid for a story post, and he paid for it. So I was almost going to be done with it, and I was like, you know what? Stop. I'm thinking the song's going to be hot garbage. I'm like, all right, put up in it, whatever that means. I play it, people start going crazy. So I was like, oh my gosh. And then that was a song in contest. So literally, if we didn't play that song, you would have won that night, man. This would have been a whole different conversation. I'm so sorry. Bro, we needed that money, Shout out to that dad. Can we at least get a story post? Nah. God! Yo, no, I got you. Just like that, we out. I got you. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. We out. Peace. It's not in you. It's on you.
Try Sunshine. Yeah, Jordy.
I need you to know you got. Show me that. I like Show me that slick on this vibe. This is tough. I need you to know you got. All right, so that's that one.
And people saying Sunshine is better.
Sunshine's better. I'm seeing Sunshine, so Sunshine was better.
Wait, Sup Jody? I think that's Manny from the podcast. Did you submit a song?
Still Sunshine better. I'm seeing Sunshine's better. Sunshine better. Sunshine's better. Sunshine, I'm getting Sunshine. Y'all think Sunshine? Okay. This is tough, y'all.
Okay, Sunshine is winning.
Sunshine is winning by a lot. Sunshine is getting a lot of love. Sunshine.
Are you in the chat? Whoever
is the person that did Sunshine in the chat?